hostess, Jenna Bell, as always. Welcome back, welcome back. So we are going to be doing our documentary of the week, and this is actually going to be kind of a documentary franchise review. I'm going to be talking about the Paradise Lost documentaries. For those of you who are not aware of these at all, these were kind of like, sort of follows the lives sort of the families and everything, and of these three gentlemen who were wrongly convicted of killing these three very young children back in 1993. So this was kind of like, this was very much pre like making a murder and everything, and just all these sort of different documentaries and news specials of people being wrongfully convicted of crimes and everything. Now, if you feel like these guys have actually like committed this crime, I respect that, whatever. I personally don't think they did, but this first one here, Paradise Lost, the Child Murders of Robin Hood Hills, was released, like I said, back in like 95, about the 1993 slayings of these three young boys. And it just kind of shows the process of like of the trials and everything of these three men that were convicted, or I should say young gentlemen, because they were pretty much kids at the time that they were convicted and tried for these murders. And then also, talking to the, families on both sides, families of these young men who were convicted, and the families of the three young boys that were murdered, and seeing just all these different things. Especially like looking at it now, I mean, it's totally justifiable on like both sides of how families would be reacting and everything. So that's kind of something that I do like. I mean, it is a documentary. Obviously, they, it might be a little more, impartial on one side than the other. But, I mean, it's not so, at least to me, not so blatant, like one side or the other. But I feel like it does leave you to kind of make your own decision on, like, what do you think happened? I mean, this is just a very, this is not, I should say, this is not an easy one, obviously, to watch. It's very good, though. They do show some, like, crime scene photos and everything that are, like, really kind of difficult to sort of see, because, like, they, show the boys that were murdered and everything, and they were, like, stripped naked and everything, and, like, rigor mortis is already kind of set in, so they're like, whatever position that they're in, they're kind of like already frozen in and everything. I mean, they, we see so many different things and so many corrupt things sort of in this trial and everything, and, it's just like, it's kind of sickening, because some of this stuff, it's like, for example, like one of the big things that they're kind of like bringing up of trying to convict these young gentlemen of oh my god, I'm totally blanking. Wow. Jesse Miskelly, Damien Eccles, and oh my god, I always forget the third guy's name, because I'm weird like that. Jason Baldwin. So these are three young men who were convicted of supposedly doing this crime. Like I said, it's, a lot of us feel like they did not do them. There's so many different, like, shady sort of things and everything that were brought up in the trial and stuff. But, like, one of the things that they kept focusing on was that, like, they were all into witchcraft. They all listened to, like, heavy metal. They all wore black, painted their hair black. So basically it was like a witch hunt, in a sense. It's like the, Salem witch trials in present day. So just a lot of things where you're like, okay, so basically because these guys are different, it's basically like, oh, they must have done it. Oh, they must have done it. So I mean, that's one of the biggest things for me where I'm like, what? And it's like, even like, Damien Eccles and stuff, like, like they were asking him about this stuff. They're like, oh, so you must practice. He's like, well, I don't really practice it. I just kind of like to read up on it, read about the history and everything, so basically just trying to like coerce him into saying like, like, oh yeah, I sacrificed them for some sort of like weird like ritual or something, and they were even trying to like, uh, prosecutors are trying to like, say like, oh, you were into Wicca and like the cult and everything, and Damien even kind of like a couple of times is like, well, no, they're two very different things. Yeah, they're both witchcraft, but they're two totally different things, like things like that. And actually, how they ended up arresting these three young men for this murder is because Jesse Misskelley, they brought him in, and they even said in like the documentary that like at the time, like he had a very low IQ, I think of like 72, and this kid is like 16 or 17 at the time of like the murders taking place. And they're even we're seeing like family members and stuff, and like different like lawyers and stuff were saying like, well, you guys really kind of like coerced him into saying this stuff, and like, all this stuff. And just the way that they have kind of brought these guys in, like it just, and especially to one of the guys, one of the I think like chief of police or something. I think this was like about his last trial and everything. So it's almost like you feel like, especially as I think with like the second one and even like the third one, it's kind of like you feel like, okay, you were about to retire. Even at the end of this documentary, he kind of says like, well, yeah, I'm about set to be retired. Who knows? Maybe this will be my last trial, and what a way to go out and everything. And it's just like, dude, you just wanted to retire, and you didn't care who took the fall for these murders. Like, you just figured, hey, whatever, we're gonna like mess around with this, and who knows, like, whatever. But I mean, little things like that, it just like, you get a sense like, okay, there's something so fishy about this. Like, there's more to this. There's like, oh man, it just like, it is so frustrating because it's like, especially now, it's like as you like watch this, it's like, what? What? Like, seriously? But no, it's a really good documentary, guy. You guys should check this out. This is on right now. It's on Amazon Prime. I believe HBO has it on demand still. All three of them. And each one of these documentaries are pretty lengthy. I think this one, the first one, is the longest at about 2.5 hours. But it is just so good. Like, so much information. No waste of time in this. Definitely check it out. And you will definitely be, I feel like most of you guys who watch this will definitely be hooked enough to watch the other two films and kind of see everything that progresses and everything. So, but let me know what you guys think of this documentary, if you've seen it, if you haven't. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this documentary, or even of like the Paradise Lost trilogy and everything. Till next time though, you guys, as always, stay creepy, classy, and a little bit sassy.